Namaskar. Today I have Jan with me again, and what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at all the ways that you could modify seated forward bend, as we know it is Paschimottanasana. And what we're going to do is break out a bunch of props and do a bunch of different things as far as getting the skeleton as straight as we can while we're doing the same posture. So the first thing I'm going to ask you to do, Jan, is we're going to do easy stuff first. Bring out your right leg. Okay, he brings out his right leg. His leg I can feel underneath. He's almost bottomed out, but let's say he couldn't do that. Because some people have, there's a lot of different variations. Some people have very tight hamstrings. So in the case of a student who has some very tight hamstrings, what we're going to do is slide this underneath the knee so that there's a natural bend there, and our student isn't too concerned with having the knee exactly straight, because we don't want them to lock it anyway. We want the leg to be straight, but we don't want the knee to be locked. The other thing is we might want to get the foot here so that it's how can I say, flexed and as straight as possible, drawing energy straight up this way. And the other thing that we're going to do, we're going to break out a strap. And go ahead. He's going to wrap it around his foot. Now, a couple of things ahead of time. When the back, as far as folding the back is concerned, bringing it forward, it all depends on the student. For example, some people are able to just bend forward, and some people have more difficulty. The more, from what I've seen, this isn't applying to everyone, but the more muscle someone has in the back, usually it tends to be that much harder, and the chest, it tends to be that much harder for them to fold the body in half. So somebody who is very thin on the top with a very thin trunk is probably going to be able to fold themselves a whole lot better. And there's also a matter of the way the skeleton is made itself. What I'm going to ask him to do is to draw forward, but keep the back as straight as you can. Yep, so you're cinching forward, and we're going to stop right there for a second. And what we've got a slight rounding. And what I'm going to ask you to do is to draw, yes, draw the back as straight as possible. Okay. Now, this is one variation. Okay. And what I'm going to do now is instead, so that you can see what's going on here, we're going to put this blanket right, I have a surprise for him. Okay, right this way, and the reason why, it depends on the person's body too. You could actually slip more blankets in there than just one. But this is going to keep him a little bit more honest about keeping the back straight. So go ahead and fold in just a little bit more and go easy. Yep. And you can see that the back starts to round a little more. Okay, this is not a big deal. But this is one of the things that I want you to be aware of. In an ideal world, what we'd like is the back to be as straight as possible. Okay. This was a combination of some of the modifications that we're going to cover for this round. We will come back, and this is going to be a series. We will come back again and address some other ways of looking at seated forward bend. With that in mind, I'd like to bid you farewell. Om Shanti.